Well, yuck. I don't know what to say about that game, but yuck. Pacers go to Utah and they win. If you're a fan of the Pacers, you're not saying yuck. 112-111 is the final. This game will be remembered as a victory, something the Pacers are doing quite often recently. For those of you who watch every game in great detail, this game will not be remembered fondly. I'm Tony East. I cover the Pacers and the Fever and have done so for several years now here in Indy. And boy, oh boy, we have a lot to talk about from whatever that was in Utah. Pacers were the worst team in this game. I don't think it's a stretch to say that at all. The final score says that that's a stupid thing to say, but if you look at the game chart NBA.com puts out that shows the lead tracker, how often each team was winning, the Jazz were winning from the middle of the first quarter until early in the third when the Pacers took a lead for one possession. Then the Jazz led from the early parts of the third quarter until there were just a few minutes left. And yet, when the clock struck zero, the Pacers were ahead. They found a way in crunch time to get this done. That is sort of the story of this game. Is their clutch play was truly sensational, to their credit. Right, down 101-89 with 6:52 to go, and 102-94 when this game hit for the last 5 minutes, which is when the NBA classifies things as crunch time, and they gave it one more push, to their credit. Isaiah Collier hit a three with 6:52 to go to put the Jazz up 12, and the Pacers could have right then, said, oh, man, we've been bad tonight. We don't have it. Let's see how this goes. But they could have made a push in theory with their timeout and their subs, but mentally it could have been tough to come out and play well. They bring in Obi Toppin. They bring in Aaron Nesmith. They bring in Thomas Bryant. Bryant has not had a good game to that point. I thought that was a very interesting sub. They missed their first shot at that point, but then a lot goes well. Aaron Nesmith driving layup makes it a 10-point game. He misses a free throw, but they get the stop. Thomas Bryant, big rebound on a Haliburton block. Obi Toppin gets a three, and all of a sudden, here come the Pacers. Nesmith hits free throws on the next possession. Thomas Bryant dunks on the next possession. Then a Thomas Bryant running layup where he's fouled on the next possession. Then Siakam scores on the next possession. Pacers scoring and scoring and scoring. Only one miss from the time that Nesmith started their run to Siakam giving them the lead with 3:09 to go. Massive run that was to give them the lead. Then they missed a shot, but Thomas Bryant got the rebound and put it back up and in to give them the lead again. John Collins scores, and then Tyrese Haliburton, 2 possessions later, gives the Pacers the lead that they held on to win with a three with exactly a minute to go. That 4.5-minute stretch where the Pacers went from down 89 to 101 to up 108-106 was so impressive. 19-5 run in about 4.5 minutes to win this game, where their offense was sensational, their defense was good enough, and they actually grabbed rebounds, something they did awful in this game. And I know running through the possessions like that is very boring, but that is the whole game because the Pacers were just dreadful outside of that. The Jazz just aren't good enough to punish the Pacers for the many mistakes they made. Aaron Nesmith with some clutch free throws late in this one. Siakam dunks with 6 seconds to go. That was enough to put it away despite the Jazz getting a three late. I mean, it was a masterclass of crunch time. Credit to the Pacers for stepping up late. And I really want to point to a few guys. One is Thomas Bryant, who, by God, he saved himself from a ton of critique, and he still deserves some because before that last couple minute stretch, I think he would even tell you he was bad in this game. Really bad. Couldn't hit any. He had his first shot and I think missed 8 or 9 in a row, and his defense was not where it needed to be. He didn't have any of those Thomas Bryant just like FU rebounds that he gets sometimes. Rick Carlisle opting to go small early in the third quarter. I wondered if we'd see Thomas Bryant again. It was almost a full quarter before he returned. Miles Turner was out for this game, so they needed Thomas Bryant to give them anything. Well, finally, in that last stint, his last chance to truly save his performance, he did. He finally did. Key rebound, down 10 after the Haliburton block. A massive dunk in transition as he snuck in behind the defense, right? Other rebounds and battles in the post. The and one on the pass from Siakam in the lane to put the Pacers down by 1. When it mattered, Thomas Bryant was awesome. It took him forever to get to that point, but he was huge late. Siakam was very good late in this game. He checked back in with the Pacers down 4 with 3:47 to go. Immediate assist followed by a step-back jumper to give him the lead. Great play from Siakam late, and he was very good late in their most recent win over the Bulls, which also featured crunch time. Siakam finishes with 22 points on a night where he didn't feel like he had 22 points. 8 for 10 on twos. So on a night where the Pacers did nothing well, 10 for 42 from deep. This is their first win of the season shooting under 29% from deep. They got mauled on the glass, 37-60. The Jazz with 11 more offensive rebounds and 12 more defensive rebounds. Remarkable rebounding game from them. They're a huge team, but that was tough to overcome. The Pacers found a way to do it with 9 fewer turnovers, right? That erases some of that gap. Much more effective finishing at the foul line and great work in the paint. Pacers dominated inside the arc despite their size disadvantage. 8 more points in the paint from the Pacers and way more in the mid-range if you check out the shot charts from this game. Pacers really, really snuck out a win here. They did not play well. This was maybe their worst performance in a while. All their San Antonio game was worse. In the year 2025, probably the second worst Pacers performance. And they won the game because their crunch time was that good. No real standout performers outside of Siakam and Bryant late. Halliburton was good enough with 18. Toppin and had his moments off the bench. I thought Aaron Nesmith was very good. He was plus 10 at Pacers high with 13 points and 7 rebounds, and he closed the game again. Keep that in mind, that 2 games in a row, the Pacers have had crunch time, and they've closed with Aaron Nesmith, not Ben Mathurin. Jarris Walker gave the Pacers some needed minutes after not playing in the last game. I thought he was quite good as well. Lots of guys needed to be better at something in this one and weren't, but the Pacers, without a starter, sneak out of Utah with a win, their first win there since 2021. Wild couple days in the NBA. Pacers get a wild win to cap it off for themselves. Just a minute of me talking about the trades here to finish this one up because I want to on every platform that I can. One, the Jazz got Jalen Hood-Schifino from IU. I love that. Love that for Hood-Schifino. Hope he can play a little bit. But that was the Luka Doncic trade, which just is comically stupid to me for the Mavs to do that. Why? I mean, they've stated their reasons, and I still think they're bad because at least shop him around. If that's your reasons, that's fine. I guess you could say that with a straight face and people have to believe you, but okay, if you're going to do that, then do your job as a front office. Like, why do you have a front office if you're not going to call around and see what's out there? 2, great work there, although Anthony Davis, I think, is getting a little underrated in these discussions of the new look Mavs. 2, De'Aaron Fox trade, 3-team trade. That's the rare win-win-win. I like it for the Bulls, I like it for the Kings, and I like it for the Spurs, who are now going to be awesome. That's a fun one. But if the Jazz had Drew Eubanks in this game, who they traded away and instead played Kyle Filipowski off the bench, who was -6, they might have won. So that trade they made with the Clippers ends up being huge for the Pacers, who sneak out of Utah with a win and have to immediately turn around and battle the Portland Trailblazers, who are also on a back-to-back and just finished an overtime game with the Suns. We'll talk about that game right on this channel. If you're a Fever watcher, I promise it's coming. Natasha Howard press conference tomorrow, and then I'll talk about free agency in as much detail as I can with the details that we know. Thank y'all for watching. See you soon.